So it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm happy to be the last speaker of the evening. So I'd like to share with you my journey of finding inner strength and how finding inner strength has helped me to build a life and businesses that are aligned with my values and vision. Spirituality and self-belief have been strong pillars within my life, especially recently, and they have helped me to build purpose-driven businesses along the way. So to start my story, I will go back a few years. So a few years ago, I found myself at a crossroads. I was deeply unhappy, and I, at the time, was the co-founder of a successful group of businesses, also a mom of 2 children, divorced, and living in Cyprus for around 15 years at the time. Financially successful, business was thriving, but I was deeply unhappy. And I figured out that my unhappiness at that time was because I was not living true to myself. I was not living true to my values, and many of the decisions that I was taking were decisions that were going against my true values. And over time, I realized also that my inner voice was stifled. So one day, I did something quite drastic. I packed up my laptop, I went over to my lawyer's office and began a very lengthy process of exiting from this successful group of business. But at the time, I realized that I must trust in finding again my inner voice and my inner strength, and putting myself back on a path where I'm aligned with my values and my vision. And that moment in the lawyer's office was my pop moment. And I think we've all had that pop moment whereby you take many decisions over a time period. Some, you know, are not quite aligned, but perhaps you say, okay, because, you know, it's the easiest thing to do, or you have other things that are more pressing at the time. But then over time, those yes decisions that are going against your inner spirit, shall we say, add up, and then one day we pop. So that was my pop moment. And that led me to a journey of introspection, self-reflection, and figuring out what I wanted to do in life to be happy. And not just in business, but in my personal life too. I found my inner strength, and I found my self-belief. And these were anchored through my time spent with spiritual practices. I reconnected with my core values, and I reignited a purpose. Now, during that time, I also reignited my entrepreneurial spirit and decided that if I was going to go back into running a business again, it must be a business that was driven by my values, that never stifled my inner voice, and that I had the self-belief to follow that vision, even when the path was not so clear. So reigniting this purpose and this entrepreneurial spirit had a huge impact on my decision-making. And also at the same time as the exit from the successful group of businesses, I decided that I needed to go back to my roots and those roots were back in the UK. And it wasn't an easy process, but I wanted to move back to the UK with my 2 children, spend time with my family, be close to my mom, my sister, and just really take that time to connect with myself again. Having done so, unfortunately, I passed a period where I faced child abduction charges. So you can imagine that I was trying to reset myself, find myself, align myself with my values, following some spiritual paths to find my inner strength and self-belief. And this was an amazingly overwhelming time for me. However, through the inner strength that was slowly coming back, I was able to find the strength to pass through this overwhelmingly hard period of my life. And I successfully changed my children's residence to the UK. And I successfully exited from my business too. So I found myself with plenty of time to really self-reflect, and travel was a great therapy for me. And here I am watching a lion and a lioness on safari in Africa in 2019. So I was able to spend time with my family and do some solo travel too, which took me to America, parts of Europe, and a safari in Africa. I felt well, I felt reset, and I was ready to reignite that entrepreneurial spirit, but under my terms. And those terms had to be that I would be leading a company with purpose, align with my values, align with my vision, and really sticking to that self-belief. Because if you're going to do something, only you can do that. You have to believe in yourself. And as I just mentioned, when the path isn't always clear, we find that strength. For me, it's spiritual strength. It's also having family, friends, and the people that I love dearly close to me to keep spurring me on and pushing me forward. So, founding a purpose-driven business, I wanted to build a working environment that was flexible as opposed to rigid. And I built a remote-first organization. As a single mom raising 2 children, I understand tremendously how heading to an office every day and dealing with childcare and the home and everything else puts a burden on working parents. And so I wanted to offer not just myself, but other working parents on my team, and there's many working moms on my team that benefit from the flexibility. So, and not just for working parents, for also others that are not parents, but they can have that balance between their personal life and their work-life balance. So this was extremely important. And one of the greatest things that I've learned through this process is equitable leadership. And this is about giving people the power to work the way that they want to work, to produce the way that they want to produce, and so that I can motivate teams, people, to bring their best selves to an environment where we have shared goals, we have common goals. We want to be the best at what we can do, but we don't want to sacrifice our inner selves. We don't want to stifle our voices. We want to spend time with our family or continuing our past leisure time, whatever it is that we do in our free time. So empowering the team through flexibility was one of the key things that really enabled me to attract some of the best people to my team, and giving them the autonomy to direct themselves, all working towards those shared goals. And trust too, because working remotely, there has to be that element of trust. And trust is a very big thing to ensure that everyone is bringing to the table what they need to bring to have a successful outcome. And that for us is a business that we have built. And I say we because even as the founder and CEO of the business, I could not do this without the support and the commitment and the dedication and the motivation and the courage of the team. So building teams with trust, flexibility, and shared vision was my purpose. Having experienced something that was completely different to what I have today. And I'm very proud to look at you all today and say I'm very happy. I'm a little bit nervous up here. It's my personal story, but I'm very happy with the process and how things have turned out, and how things have turned out for me moving back to Cyprus from the UK, where I consider Cyprus my home. One of the interesting things about the last 3 years of running the current company and team is that we have achieved so many great things together. And we even were approached for an acquisition, which I turned down, because success, it isn't just about profits. It's about creating equity, purpose, and impact. And I feel that we've really hit the nail on the head, the team and I, in achieving this through a variety of ways. The flexibility that I mentioned, the autonomy, the motivation. And there's a lot of motivation within the team that creates that very nice, supportive culture, which encourages the team members to achieve and to be happy doing what they are doing each day. Values. These are 3 of my key values. There are many, but if I was to choose 3, integrity, so being true to myself, being honest, having that self-belief to raise my voice. That's an integral force inside of me. Trust in relationships, trust in my vision, trust in my journey, and authenticity. The stories we tell ourselves, the experiences that we lead, they're authentic and they're true, and they help us grow, develop, learn, and they're empowering. So my message to you all is embrace your inner strength. You never know where it may lead you, even when the path is extremely unclear or you're not sure what to do. Trust in your intuition. It's another one of my favorites in values. My intuition and that inner strength and self-belief is within us all. And that is clear confidence and drive and enthusiasm to achieve the success that is within your reach. And mentors. I've had the pleasure of having some great guidance in my life from mentors during the past, through difficult periods of my life, through to the present time. And I think also mentoring people myself has been very empowering. So if you have the opportunity to seek out mentors, They can be amazing guides. They can be amazing sounding boards, and they can help build that confidence. They can help ensure your self-belief and guide you on the path to where you want to be. So my mood of the day, this is another picture from my travels. This is Petra. Inner strength, values, and mentors have enabled me to build businesses that not only succeed in the market, but make a positive difference in the lives of those involved. And that, to me, is the true measure of success. Thank you.